Hey guys, my name is Steve, um, and I guess to put it simply, this is my coming out story video. I know there's like millions of other coming out stories on YouTube, and a lot of them, they have they're really happy stories. They turn out great. Some of them are really touching stories too to me, but you know, that's the thing. Like um, they're all good advice, and like I said, they're happy endings. But um, the point of my video is, well, I hate to say this, but not every coming out story is a happy one, or goes smoothly, or has a happy ending either. And I wanted to share that story today in the hopes that maybe I could, help some people out. Um, where do I start? I guess start from the beginning. Um, I knew I was gay when I was probably in elementary school. I mean, like, I didn't really have a concept back then of what it meant to be gay, but looking back now, I'd say there were obvious red flags. It wasn't really until I'd say early middle school, around like seventh grade ish, which would have been like about 10 years ago, that I realized that I probably actually might have been gay, and I was in denial about it for a couple years actually. I did everything to try to convince myself that I was straight, but like after like watching lots of porn or trying to even ask a girl out, it was pretty obvious at that point that I was gay. So this is like middle of middle school, and I was faced with this reality that I was gay, and it was a pretty frightening reality for me because I knew my parents were very iffy about the subject, and oftentimes they've spoken out against homosexuality. It's not that like they're not like religiously against it. It's not like your cliche like Christian parents that are like that think it's a sin or anything. My parents are more against it because they come from like a more traditional Asian background. So traditional Asian culture is, well, traditional, and homosexuality is just not traditional, I guess. And in addition to that, they also grew up in like the 60s, the 80s era. So that was the era of like, the AIDS scare, and like, gay people have like this virus that can like spread around easily. In fact, my parents once told me a story about how they had gay neighbors, and they bought like something from a garage sale from the gay neighbors, like a binder or like a notebook or something, and they made sure they left it on the sun so that like the UV would like kill any potential AIDS or HIV viruses on the stuff that they bought. So yeah, basically my parents were the product of the 60s, the 80s era. So, it's what it is. It can't really be helped, I guess. It's hard to change people like that. Um, but anyways, I basically went on for like the next several years, hiding it, playing straight, keeping a secret. In fact, it was probably like my most deeply held secret ever. Probably even more secret than my social security number, which I won't be sharing, of course. But yeah, it sucked for several years. Just whenever somebody asked, just play cool. Um, but yeah, it got pretty exhausting, and it takes a toll on you to have to hide who you are for such a long time. And it got to the point where I just felt like, maybe I should start telling people. I was around 16 or 17 when I decided this. This was like early high school, around sophomore year. I decided maybe I'd start slowly, very slowly coming out to some people. But I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know who to tell. I didn't know who I could trust. So I thought I would play it safe, or so I thought it would be safe. And at the time, I ran another YouTube channel. It was gaming related, and it was somewhat big actually, somewhat popular. And I decided to use that channel as a platform to come out, and I made a video. I thought I'd get some feedback and just practice in general. Um, the response to that video was, it was 50-50. Some people were pretty supportive, others were not so supportive. Um, but it was a good learning experience still. However, I uploaded a video thinking that if I came out online, nobody in real life would find out if I kept my real life and online life separate. Well, that was a pretty dumb idea on my part, because I was not aware at the time that so many people from my school and some of my friends actually watched my YouTube videos. So a couple of days later, I went on a school bus to go to school. I went to the back of the bus to sit with my friends, and I sat down. They're all giggling and laughing. I didn't know what's going on at first, and then that's when they asked me about a video I uploaded to YouTube. And at that moment, the first thought that must have come to my head was like, oh shit. And right after that, like, all the blood, all the fluids in my body just dropped, I was like freaking out. I was like panicking, everything. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. And I couldn't cover it up at this point. It was, there was me right there in that video saying I'm gay. So, I was like, yeah, I am. And, most of the friends at the time, they didn't take it very well. So I basically in an instant lost most of my friends. A couple of them, I guess they were okay with it, but they didn't really want to be associated with me much anymore at that point, so I didn't really see them much anymore either. So it got pretty lonely pretty quickly. And I remember, like, it was either like sometime that week I actually, for the first time ever, I had to like sit by myself at lunch, which was a pretty low point for me. But at that point I couldn't really cover it up, but fortunately it stayed kind of contained to the lower classmen, because these friends that saw the video were a year younger than me, so it didn't spread as bad. But nonetheless, a lot of people started to know, and every now and then someone would come up to me in a hallway and be like, yo, are you gay, or something like that. And I don't know, that was just like too much for me at the time, because that's not how I wanted to come out, nor that suddenly either. But I figured at this point I was at the point of no return, so there's no turning back. So I decided to tell my parents pretty soon. And I was trying to find a perfect time, perfect opportunity. And this one night, we were watching TV together, and there was this movie on. I think it was like on the Lifetime channel or something. It's called like Prayers for Bobby. Yeah, it's like a movie about like this gay kid that like he like couldn't get accepted by his parents or something. It's actually a good movie. I do highly recommend that you guys check it out. But yeah, so we watched that movie, and I figured out the words I would tell them. And well, let's just say that did not go very well at all, and that's where the story gets bad, I guess. So after the movie, I just basically straight up told them. And well, their reactions were pretty bad. For the most part, my dad was pretty much speechless the entire time. But my mom, she was pretty furious. Well, like, not furious initially, but she was in like disbelief. And she basically I don't know, I guess was straight into denial, I guess, or something. I don't know, but she kept like questioning me about it, and then she kept saying like I'm wrong, I'm just confused or something. And she basically went on to like lecture me, um, about like how I'm wrong, it's not real, or like how dangerous it is, like all the AIDS stuff and HIV stuff that I mentioned earlier. And this whole time, like while she was like going on and on about it, I was just like sitting there. I don't know. I was like pretty much dying on the inside. I just, I just felt like everything was, my whole world was just collapsing even further, even more than it has already. And I don't know. I feel like we were at it for like hours, and it got to the point where I just didn't feel like arguing about it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. Like, it was too much for me at that point. And so I just, got up and just walked away and went to my room and went to sleep, or wanted to go to sleep. But my mom wouldn't let me go that easily. They kept insisting that, I was just, either I'm making it up, or like it wasn't, I'm just confused in general, or, I just wasn't sure. Or, I was getting confused for like, a really close best friend, and that's not really, being gay. But so, after like another hour or so of more arguing, I finally just said like enough, and went to my room and locked the door. And that night I pretty much, for like probably the first time in my life, or at least the first time in a long time, I cried myself to sleep. It was the worst moment of my life. And even just thinking about it now, it was really like a horrible, horrible night. Like, I really like wished it was just like a nightmare, and I would just wake up at any moment, and everything would be okay. I only wish things got. So a couple of days later, my best friend at the time, the only person I thought I could still count on to have my back, he also saw my video on YouTube, and well, he was probably worse than my parents actually. He was deeply religious, and he messaged me on like Gmail that day. He thought I was joking or something, or like I lost a bet or something. But I told him, no, it's true, I'm gay. That's when he started to go off. Like, he started telling me like about how like wrong it is, or like it doesn't exist, or it's just a choice. And yeah, he basically used all the typical religious arguments against homosexuality. And I don't know, I put up with it for a couple of days. I just kept debating him every day about it, trying to defend myself. I mean, the fact I had to like even defend myself like that, I don't know. It got to the point again where I had enough debating him, so I just stopped talking about it. And I also deleted the video off YouTube as well. After I deleted the video, I just pretty much 100% went back into the closet again. I just completely like receded and just became really quiet, and just never spoke of it. I even like tried not to think of it too. But the damage was done, and I was in probably one of the worst places anyone could be in. At that point I lost pretty much like the majority of my group of friends at the time. I lost my best friend, and my parents didn't support me. In fact, my parents wouldn't speak to me for like several weeks after that, and only occasionally just like argue with me. It also got to the point with my parents where it got so bad that like my mom at one point even like straight up to my face said that like she hates me, or like she wished she never had me. It was really hard at the time. You think like your parents would be like the first ones to support you, but so basically we had like a don't ask, don't tell policy within the family, and unfortunately even to this day that still exists. But I gotta say, things did get a little better after that, but they did get a lot worse before things got better. I was like really depressed at this point. I was so lonely as well at school. For the rest of junior year, I basically was just a loner, a nobody. And it got to the point where, I don't know, I was thinking about killing myself. And I almost went through with it too, actually. The only people I could confide in at the time was my friends that I met on Xbox Live. And I gotta say, if it wasn't for them, I would not be here today talking to you guys. Because it really did get to the point where this one night I made up my mind that I was going to kill myself. And I went on Xbox one last time just to play with my Xbox friends one last time. And I basically was saying goodbye to them. One of them kind of figured out something was wrong, and he got the answer out of me, the truth out of me. And he was very persuasive, and he insisted I wait until I was like 18 to see if things got better. And he made me promise, and so I did. Basically, my Xbox Live friends, the only real friends I had at the time, saved my life. Around the start of senior year, I finally did meet a new group of friends, and they were great friends. They're the best friends anybody could ask for. But I was still too scared to tell them I was gay. So I from that point, I stayed in a closet basically for like the next several years. In fact, I tried to be extra careful because I started to develop feelings for one of those friends, and I had a huge crush on him. But he was straight, of course, so I couldn't go anywhere with that. But nonetheless, huge crush. So, yeah, had a group of friends. I felt better hanging out with them, even though I still had to maintain my secret. But yeah, high school passed, freshman year started. They say freshman year is a fresh start for college, and I thought about trying to come out again, but I was honestly like too scared because of my previous experiences. So I couldn't do it again. I couldn't go through with all the drama again freshman year. It wouldn't be until like I think my junior year where I finally it was like a couple years ago where I started to finally come out to people. I did slowly, like one friend at a time, and I had like the system when I came out. I would ask that friend. I would tell them I had like a little secret to tell them, a deep secret. And when they asked what it is, I would actually give them 3 guesses first. Those 3 guesses is basically like a test to see like kind of like what the reaction are, and also to see if they ever like suspected me that I might be gay. So it was a little bit to like determine if it was a good idea to tell them, and at the same time for my own amusement to see like how well I played my cover. So yeah, I did that for like a few friends, and one by one I finally came out of the closet, and things went a lot better this time, like a lot better. The friends I met in college I came out to, they were very supportive, and they even helped me come out to more friends too after that point, and things definitely got better from there. Although there's still like a lot of work to do. There's still the issue with my family. Even after all these years, I think it must have been like 6 or 7 years. The situation with my family is that the don't ask, don't tell policy basically is still in effect, and I don't know. I think like my parents just simply chose to forget about it or ignore it, but we just never speak of it anymore. And whenever we're like with other relatives and they ask me like if I have a girlfriend yet, and my parents they just like fill in the blanks for me, talking about like possible future wife and stuff like that. So I don't know. Basically, like among all my friends, I'm pretty much out now to most of them. Even the friend I have a crush on, I think I told him like almost a year ago. I even told him I had a huge crush on him too, and he's been really cool with it. And he was like one of my best friends before that point, and still remains one of my best friends to this day, and one of the most supportive ones as well. But yeah, I'm out to all my friends, but just my family left. I don't know. I'm probably don't plan on telling my parents, my family again. At least not until like I have like a boyfriend or something. Which I don't know. I've been pretty unsuccessful in that field as well. So you know, things aren't still not a happy ending for me yet. I really wish I could have came here to you guys today and gave you like a happy story. Like a nervous coming out and like everybody like happy supports you and everything. I really wish I could have like told you like there'll be like a happy ending or something like that. But I saw a lot of videos on YouTube of other people coming out, and they have great stories, really touching, and I'm really happy for them. In fact, I'm like totally jealous of them, and I really admire them too. But I don't know, sometimes I feel like you also need to hear the other side where things aren't as happy, and I just really wanted to share this with you guys. And if any of you are thinking of coming out, I definitely encourage you to do so. But before you do so, just be prepared for like what might happen. Not everything goes as you'd expect. All right, guys. Well, I think I've rambled on long enough. I hope my story really helps those who are kind of on the fence about coming out, or like they're not sure like how their parents might react. Just it really helps to have supportive friends, and that's like the biggest treasure I have. My most prized possession right now is my friendships. They're the only thing that keeps me going, essentially. Without my friends, I don't know, like I could have like all the money in the world, I could have everything I want, but without my friends, without my identity, it's nothing. Well, yeah, so that's just reality, and I guess a lot of the stuff I'll be posting on this channel from this point forward is going to be, just the reality of my life. Go into more details eventually. I don't know, like even I'm still like, learning and exploring. So as much as I'm giving advice, as much as I want to give advice to you guys, I would also appreciate any advice you guys might have for me. Because just a lot of unknowns in my future. Like 10 years down the road, I don't know where I'm gonna be. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and thank you for hearing me out. I really appreciate it, and I hope I was able to reach out to some of you and maybe give you a better idea of how to come out, or any help I could have given you would make me happy. But yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, like if you have any advice for me, or if you have any other questions you want to ask. I'm here to help. I'll do my best to give you like any advice in your situation. So yeah, just let me know, and thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you again next time.